Mic check, mic check. What's good? What's good? Hey, yo, peace and blessings, fam. Peace and blessings. It's your kinfolk DMR. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to another installment of Back to the Lab Live, where we celebrate classic hip hop albums, legendary MCs, DJs, producers, etc., in the cashmere sweater. You know what I'm saying? Hey, for those of you who are new here, salute, man. I want to welcome you with open arms. Hey, put your city and your state in the comments, you know what I'm saying, so I can show you some love. To all the returning lab techs, salute, man. Welcome back. Y'all know how we do, man. Every Monday, I come to the table with some milestone anniversaries, album of the week, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So today I'm only narrowing it down to one. If I have time, I'll make an honorable mention. You know what I'm saying? But I got a special guest that's gonna be tapping in probably about 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, man. That's what it is. So what we do at Back to the Lab, man. First of all, Back to the Lab is a brand, a vlog, podcast. You know, I come in many different forms. You know what I'm saying? And what we do is we do tributes on a daily basis, man, on the Instagram and on the Facebook and stuff like that. We do tributes on a daily basis to albums and artists who anniversaries is coming up. And for the lives, I like to keep the lives only to the milestone anniversaries. So you like your 10, 15, 20, 25, so forth and so on. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, it's 2024. So that means all the music that we'll be celebrating will either come from the year 1989, 1994, 1999, 2004. You get the picture. You know what I'm saying? So today I have a classic album, man. Classic. It might be a cult classic. You know what I'm saying? But I have a classic album that I want to talk about today. And man, it's gonna be legendary. And the guest that I have coming in is the sister of one of the late great members of this group. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna get to that in just a moment. All right. So how was everybody weekend? I hope everything went well with everybody. The time change probably threw some of y'all off, and it is what it is, man. It do that sometimes. You know, either you get that extra hour or you lose that hour. I feel sorry for those who work overnight, stuff like that. You know, sometime it works out, sometime it don't, depending on which one it is. But nevertheless, you getting paid, right or wrong. All right, then. It is what it is, man. So I had a dope weekend my damn self, man. I was trying to get myself ready for Ramadan. You know what I'm saying? You know, Ramadan started today, Monday. So all weekend I was just kind of like, you know, eating all my favorite things, and you know, like my, you know, fried catfish and you know, and then the sauteed shrimp with the Cajun butter, you know, barbecue, all kind of stuff, man. It went down, you know what I'm saying, salmon. So I had to go and get it out of my system, you know what I'm saying. So when we get to Ramadan, I can rock out on a nice modest journey for this Ramadan. So I told myself I have big breakfasts, but light dinners. You know what I'm saying? That way when I wake up in the morning, I still got a little room for a nice healthy breakfast, because the breakfast is what holds you throughout the day. And the water. Don't get it twisted. The water holds you too, fam. So yeah, man. I mean, it was a dope weekend. Like I said, Ramadan started today. You know, I got it started out real good. You know, had dope ass breakfast this morning. You know, I felt like I had drunk enough water earlier, but then as the day kind of, you know, went into its evening, I was like, oh man, I could have drunk one more bottle of water, but it's after fasting hours right now, so yeah, I'm able to enjoy a little cold sip, man. But we back at it in the morning. You heard me? So ooh, man, I got something I want to show y'all. Right quick. Hold tight. Yeah, man. So salute to Cher. That's my creative director. You know what I'm saying? The best creative director in the world. Yes, indeed. So salute to Cher, man. Cher hit me up. She was like, "Look, E40 in town. He doing the meet and greet at the Total Wine. You need to pull up." You know what I'm saying? And yeah, your boy pulled up. Your boy pulled up, and I did get blessed. Let me see. Let me see. See that there it go. There it go. Yeah, I did get blessed, man. I did get blessed with that signature, and I got a bottle of his wine, a bottle of the tequila. No, the vodka, the Tycoon vodka. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, we gon' after Ramadan, of course. Yeah, we gonna see what that do. We gonna see what that do, man. Big love to E40. Big love to E40, man. So I just got news. Well, maybe not just, but a few hours ago, I was informed that the rapper Boss, y'all remember Boss, man? I don't really wanna feel like I'm in the day, so I smoke Big Kill. Now she was the first female artist signed to Def Jam. You know what I'm saying? She came out with the album Born Gangsters. You know, legendary, man. Straight out of Detroit too, man. So big salute. Yeah, Boss passed away today. Big salutes to her family, to her loved ones. You know what I'm saying? People that really fucked with her music. It's sad, man. It's sad, but God got this, man. We gonna be all right. But yeah, I definitely want to give her rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up on that, man. I grew up on that deeper and deeper. Def Jeff produced that track. She was at the end of the Onyx Slam video. You know what I'm saying? Made a cameo appearance. So, I always rocked with her, man. I always rocked with her. And I respect Boss. I respected Boss. So, rest in peace to Boss, man. Go bump that music. You know what I'm saying? Bump that music in her honor. Get that shit some spins, man. So, hopefully, money go to who it's supposed to go to. You feel me? What else is popping up? Oh, so I heard that there's a new documentary or a docu-series about the Juice Crew. You know what I'm saying? Cold chilling. You know what I'm saying? Yo. I want to send a shout out to my man's K-Man 51. You know what I'm saying? One of my day one G's tapping in. You know what I'm saying? Big salute to K-Man. Yeah, R.I.P. Boss, man. R.I.P. Boss. That's sad, man. But, she can live on through her music, man. When I first heard of Boss, real quick, when I first heard of Boss, I heard of her on the AMG My Sister Is a Bitch song. You know what I'm saying? And then one of my brothers in the commission, Chateau, he put us on to a track that she did with Crazy Bone as well from the Thug on the Line album. So yeah, man, check all her music out, man. Check her catalog out. Give her them spins, man. The same thing that y'all would do for y'all favorite MCs. Do that for Boss, man. Spin her tracks. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that algorithm up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some dollars can go to her family, man. That's what we all about. So back to what I was saying. I heard it was a new documentary for the Juice Crew. Roxanne Shante was talking about it today on Rock the Bells, and I'm interested, man. If anybody's seen it, I don't care about spoiler alerts. I'm okay with spoiler alerts, man. Let me know what y'all thought about it. Let me know what to look forward to on that joint, man, because I got to check that out. I'm a big Juice Crew fan. Cool G Rap. You know what I'm saying? MC Shan. Big Daddy Kane, you know what I'm saying, Biz Marquis, Roxanne Shante, y'all know what it is, Craig G, Master Ace. It's ridiculous, man, the way the Juice Crew was putting on back in the days. So they some certified legends, so I got to watch this documentary. I got to watch this. What's up, Cher? I see Cher tapping in, and I got my guests ready to go. Oh, I got a eyelash in my eye. I think I'll be all right. But yeah, I got my guests ready to go. So like I was saying before, man, My guest that I'm about to bring in, she is the sister of the late great DJ Ready Red, man, the legendary Ready Red from the Geto Boys. You know what I'm saying? So, in honor of that 35th anniversary on Grip It on the Other Level, and I want to bring her in, so we can chop it up a little bit, and she can kind of give me some thoughts on the album and some memories about her brother, man. We're gonna make this a family affair, you know what I'm saying? So let me bring Miss Thursday up in here. Let's get it, y'all. And I want y'all to welcome her, you know what I'm saying, like a real lab tech supposed to welcome a guest, you know what I'm saying? So let's go, y'all. We up in here. What's good?
What's going on? What's going on?
I can't complain. I can't complain, man. I'm glad you tapping in. I'm glad you joined. You know what I'm saying? I can't thank you enough, man. I really do appreciate you tapping in with us today.
No, I definitely appreciate you inviting me on and for connecting, and I'm extremely excited.
Already. So, hey, I see the shirt. I see it. You gotta let me see the shirt. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. One time.
You
Hey,
don't
that
gotta
that was. I know you do, man. And I was checking out your page. Like, oh, and first of all, big shout out to G Money from Rap a Lot History Instagram page, man. That is my homie right there. I saw you on his page in the comments or something like that, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, yo. I mean, this is legendary right here. You know what I'm saying? I got to tap in with sis, so we can chop it up, man. I didn't even know that the anniversary was coming up so fast, and we just met each other. But it's a blessing, and it's always right on time. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah.
So give me a little history about you, Miss Thursday, or Ada Johnson, Miss Thursday. You know, give us a little history about you and what you do before we start to talk about Big Bro. Rest in peace.
Okay. So like you said, my name is Miss Thursday, or Ada Johnson. I am a nurse by trade, but I also have recently got into the podcast space. Last year, I decided to create a podcast. Oh, hey, Miss Sherlin. To actually bring more health awareness in the hip hop space because
Hmm.
of, um, I think after my brother passed away, I always noticed when people pass, but it became really um, like just heavy on me. The
Right.
amount of hip hop artists that were passing away from heart attacks and strokes and really preventable diseases. So I, always wanted to find some way to kind of help in that space because so many of the first generation hip hop artists, they really loved on me when my brother first passed away, and really loved me kind of almost back to health because I was super depressed and grieving hard. And so this was my way of kind of giving back to them. So I created Beats Per Minute podcast last year. And,
Hmm.
we just try to have conversations about hip hop, about health, about matters of the heart, meaning
Right.
dealing with grief and trauma and all types of stuff. And so it's been really dope. But I am the youngest sister of DJ Ready Red. He was my big brother. He was like a father figure. He was a pain in my butt.
Oh my goodness.
And
Like big brothers are supposed to be. You
oh,
know what I'm saying?
he definitely was on his job, okay?
That's right. That's
But
right, man. Salute.
yeah, I love him and I miss him, and I definitely am grateful that I get to say that he was my big brother. Super was always proud of him.
Absolutely, man. So can you take us back and kind of tell us how it all started? I know it started in Jersey. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So yeah. So take us back a little bit. Like what was So first, what was the age difference in you and
Mhm.
Ready Red?
So I am 10 years younger than
Okay.
Red. And I just remember being, probably maybe around the time I was 6 or 7, that's when I kind of became aware of what was kind of going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My brother, he got bit by the bug from Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five tape.
Yes.
We had cousins in New York, and one of them gave him a tape, and he told my grandpa like, "Oh my God, like I want to do this." And my grandfather was the type of person that he was really into, living your dream, if you will, and and helping if he could for you too. So he's like, "You want to do that? Like, I don't know, I need to see it." So he actually took my brother to a concert to see
Okay.
Grandmaster Flash and them, and then that's when my brother got some
Inspiration, huh?
inspiration. But not only that, but Grandpa he would fund the vision if he
Oh,
felt like you could kind of So I believe during that time that's when he got his first set of like turntables and everything. And
man.
from
So,
there, him and my cousin Joe, like they were like brothers. They was like very close in age. They looked a lot alike in a lot of ways, and they acted a lot alike. So him and Joe, they was both DJing, and Collins kind of wanted to give up, and Joe kind of pushed them to keep going. And before long, they kind of had like a little DJ crew going on here, and by the time I realized what was going on, my brother was an active DJ in the city, and
yes.
we used to have a roller rink called Capitol Roller Rink in Trenton, New Jersey, where a lot of the artists was coming down to perform, and so my brother actually got the job to be like the resident DJ there. And so he was there spending like every week, and he would do the boys club parties and the Lawrenceville parties, and from doing a lot of the different parties and stuff, he hooked up with two guys named Johnny C and Brother
That's right.
Rod D, and they
That's right.
created a group called the Mighty MCs. And they would go around and they would do shows, and they would do different events around the city and the tri-state state area. So I was I think like sixth grade when my brother ended up going to Houston. It was originally supposed to be a stop on the way to LA,
Okay.
and ended up being longer. And when he got out there, he started going out and going to the different, clubs and stuff, and met up with like Vicious Lee and his brother and everybody, and they formed a little DJ group, and from that they made like a tape, and that's how he ended up meeting James Prince, and then he was in the Geto Boys.
So, do you remember? You remember what that call was like when he said, "Hey, I'm staying in Houston." Like what? Like take me back a little bit. Do you remember that?
So it's kind of funny because, like I said, when I was younger, my brother was like the bane of my existence. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
he usually would introduce me as the reason why he stopped getting like his GI Joes and stupid stuff like that. But he was a spoiled brat. Okay, so when I was little, he was always into Bruce Lee, really into Star Wars, 007, that type of thing. So he used to have a room, like his bedroom had these Bruce Lee posters like all over.
Wow.
He always was like had his room decked out with memorabilia, right?
Okay.
So at one point, now this is before he really gets into DJing. So
Okay.
I'm probably about 4 or 5, 3, 4, or something like that. And I have a niece that's older than me. So one time, my dad used to work in LA. So he would go back and forth from Jersey to LA, and sometimes we would go back and forth. So
Wow.
this one time that he was leaving to go back to LA, he took Collins with him. And
Okay.
we woke up and he was just gone. Didn't nobody know what was going on. So me and my niece decided, oh, Colin's going, we're going to take over his room. We ripped all his posters down and everything.
Wow. So like all the what about the comic books and all that?
No,
What,
we didn't touch that. We just ripped all the
just the
posters down.
posters.
Yeah. And so, in our little brain, we're not thinking about the fact that he might come back. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
right.
This was just a done deal. He was gone. The room was
Yeah.
straight. So my grandma saved us because he wanted to kill us, and he literally would still tell that story till the day he died to
My
everybody.
goodness.
But
My goodness.
yeah. So when he left the next time, I was okay. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Kyle's going. That's okay because we weren't in that space. This man used to charge me to go into his room.
He used to
I had
charge
to.
you
I used to have to pay 50 cents to come in and look at the posters. He had a photo album with the Bruce Lee, pictures and everything in it. And to this day, I have that photo album. Yo, like he paid. I was getting charged to come in. I had to, sit down, don't touch nothing, just to watch Star Wars on a black and white,
on the
TV
black and
back
white
then.
TV. Yeah.
Yeah, he was making money off of me.
He was charging you 50 cents just to come. Wow.
That was on a good day.
But it was worth it though, huh? Because you got to go up in there.
I got
You
to
was
go
in
up
his
in
space, you know what I'm saying? And
there. Yeah.
it's plus you getting all this entertainment and all these visions and stuff on the wall. So I believe that. I believe
Yeah,
that,
and plus,
man.
my brother was just he was I'm joking around, but that is true stories. But when he did leave for Houston, it was, he would talk to my mom, and then I kind of would get secondhand, and of course I'm still young. I don't really know what's going on, but I do remember the first time that one of the albums came home. He sent
Okay.
one of the albums home, and it was always kind of this thing where he would send it home and be like, but don't listen to it,
Oh, you got to keep it in the plastic.
keep it in the plastic. But also, my brother was he that's why I say he was like a brother and a dad, because he was
Yeah.
very strict. He did not play with us. Like,
Okay.
me and my nieces, we weren't allowed to like go to the parties and all that stuff. Like, he would let me go one time to the roller rink, but like he was very, very protective of us. So the fact that it wasn't we were like a very Christian household, like growing up. Like, my mom was like the music, like the minister of music and stuff like that. I guess because of the cussing, he didn't want us to listen to,
I
the
got you.
album. So
I
yeah,
see. I see.
but it still was really cool. And I guess, being from Jersey and then them being in Houston back then, we know that they weren't really showing them a lot of love up north. They weren't getting a lot of radio play and stuff like that. I just
Right.
remember, those milestones of like finally actually seeing my brother on TV thanks to MTV Raps, like, seeing them on the video for Do It Like a Geo,
Uh
and
huh.
that was
Uh huh.
like my first experience, like, oh, so he's not lying, like they actually are doing some stuff out there.
Okay. So what was that feeling like? What was that feeling when you did?
It
Did,
was really crazy.
did he give you a heads up to let you know it was coming on, or was y'all just so having to be sitting around the TV and it
Well,
just came on?
the first time I actually saw it, I was at a friend's house. We would get off,
Okay.
out of school and go do our homework, and then I would go hang out over there. And
Uh huh.
back then, it was all about the latest videos and dances and stuff. So we would just be watching videos and trying to learn all the new dances. And then all of a sudden, I hear this, like, wait, is that my brother out here? And
Oh,
I turn around and I see him. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
what? And it was the Do It Like a Geo video, which really talked about how
Not getting
radio.
the airplay and all of
Yeah,
that.
not
Yeah.
getting the radio spins up in New York and everything, and then they talked about a whole lot of other stuff,
Yeah.
like the way the state funds certain colleges and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and black people get it last. So they were trailblazing when it came to like the political stuff when we was talking pioneer
Yeah.
times back in them day. Like they really hit it on the head with like your street stuff and your political stuff too, and your conscience stuff. So like big up to them. And I didn't know he was really producing a lot of them joints like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that was like dope to hear. And
Mhm.
I read an article where Willie D, gave him a lot of praise and was saying that how he was a perfectionist and how
Yeah.
when he would hear something, like he was on it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You
Yeah.
mean did
Sadly,
you
I
did
think
you
that
notice
a
that?
lot of people don't realize like how much the sound was actually originally created from Collins,
Uh huh.
because you don't really see his name on a lot of different things
That's right.
or as a producer or whatever, but the original sound really came from him and his production and everything. And I think that a lot of A lot of times that kind of has, it depends on the time of the day. Sometimes I feel like when somebody decides to talk about it,
Right.
Will has been actively, really making sure that a lot of people do realize like his part, so I truly am grateful for that too.
Now let me throw a name at you. Have you ever heard of the name? Because speaking of Willie D and the battle rapping, you ever heard of a guy by the name of Romeo Poet?
I feel like I have.
Okay, okay. Now that's he used to battle Willie D a lot back
Okay.
at the Rhinestone Wrangler. No, that's my cousin right there. So
Oh, okay.
and Willie D mentioned him in the Netflix. I want to say it was like a 4-part Netflix thing where they
Mhm,
talked about the South and the West Coast and all that good stuff.
mhm.
But I just wanted to see if you ever heard that name Romeo Poet because he always speak on Willie D and Ready Red. He always spoke about your brother, man.
Oh wow,
You
that's
know what I'm
really cool.
saying?
And see, here's the sad thing. I knew what my brother was in the city, in our hometown. And I knew that he was a big deal there, right? And then he left and he's, in Houston, and I would hear, from him like how the group was growing, and
Okay.
and they were really received like a lot in the Midwest back then. They was getting a lot of love from a lot of places, but not just up north. So, it wasn't really till like 91 when, like when Mr. Scarface,
The Mr.
came out.
Scarface is back.
And
Yeah.
then, of course, my playing tricks, that's when they started getting play up north. And by that time, my brother is kind of, he's now out the group, and left the group and stuff. So I didn't get a chance to see him on the level that a lot of people saw him. So, I always actually kind of tell Will that he was the one to really introduce me to DJ Ready Red of the Ghetto Boys when my brother passed away and he did that video, because I knew Collins was always very popular. He was always somebody that people just kind of, gravitated to. He had such a big personality and was just like a really loving person. And he was super funny. And so people just was always, so I knew it was going to be a lot when he passed, but
Right.
I was introduced to DJ Ready Red from the Ghetto Boys when my brother passed because of Will. I didn't expect to see it go viral. I didn't expect a lot of the things that kind of came from that. So I'm just learning a lot of stuff and meeting a lot of people from Houston and being able to make that connection to, that part of his life, honestly.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that we have a chance to meet and
Hmm.
chop it up, you know what I'm saying, and speak, on his behalf, because that's all I like to do here at Back to the Lab is give flowers and just celebrate people. Like I'm not one of those vloggers or podcast guys that like to you know negatively criticize certain music because if I know I don't like it, then
Hmm.
I just won't even bring it up as a topic. So
Yeah.
I try to spend all my time celebrating and giving flowers and everything. So I'm glad I got you here. I'm glad I got you here. So let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
Now you say he was always popular, in y'all city in Trenton. But did the people around were they still proud of him for doing it, even though he did it in Houston, or did people expect for him to do it in the tri-state? Do you remember any kind of vibes like
So
that?
it's not so much I remember, but it's the overall feeling and
Okay,
also how I feel now. And
okay,
I think it was a little bit of both. You had people who really loved and supported him, that was proud of him, and they understand how dope it was of what he did. You know what I mean? And then
right,
you have those that feel like, oh, he should have came back, or oh, he should have did it in the city, or oh, he should have, you know. But at the end of the day, I feel like, coming from Trenton, we have a bridge there that says Trenton makes the world ticks, right?
that's right.
And
Poor
I
Righteous
feel
Teachers
like
did their video on that.
exactly.
Yeah.
exactly. And shout out to, Culture Freedom and Wise Intelligent. Those are my
Absolutely.
brothers. You know,
Salute.
uh, Me and Culture, we talk a lot, so I definitely want to give them a shout out. But I believe that
Absolutely.
my brother absolutely did that. You know what I mean? I believe that Johnny C absolutely did that. I feel like it's such a dope connection that Trenton and Houston has,
Yes.
that is, it's something that we should both be proud of. Like, I was very grateful that, number one, that people of Houston have always been so gracious to me that I have met. And
Yes.
and just the way that they received them too, because I mean, my brother had a very strong, Jersey accent. So it wasn't like
Mm-hmm.
people was like, oh yeah, he's from, Houston. Like, you could tell he was from somewhere else. But I
Uh-huh.
think that they appreciated the fact that he respected Houston, and he was that perfectionist, like you were asking, was talking about. He wanted to make sure that Houston got on the map. Like, he was always that type of person that when he was down with something, he was really down with it. And I
Right.
believe that his biggest goal was for Houston to get recognized, for the Ghetto Boys to get recognized. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the big thing for him.
So he put the city on his shoulders.
He
It's
put the
like,
city on his shoulders for real.
and that reminds me. That reminds me. Just like DJ Premier is originally from Houston.
Isn't that
Mo-
crazy, that switch?
so crazy.
And
Moved to
nobody
New
talks
York.
about how does someone from Houston be able to make it in New
It,
York
and
if they
not only
didn't
that,
have
he
some
he
kind of influence.
it's almost like he created the sound that everybody, that's the go-to sound when it comes to real hip hop.
Right.
A man from Houston, Texas, Fifth Ward to be exact, is
Hmm.
is one of the guys responsible for that signature hip hop sound that everybody is
Hmm.
looking for.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the vice versa when it comes to Ready Red coming down to H Town
Hmm.
and bringing that Jersey flavor down here and creating a trend down here and creating a certain sound down here. I just think that's amazing how
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can transplant like that and still be
Yeah.
influential. You know what I
Because I
mean?
think the most important thing is, how they used to, we used to be that saying, like from Rakim, like, it's not where you from, it's where you at. You know what
That's
I'm
right.
saying? And I think that if you respect the area you're in, and you really want to, just make good quality music, and you want to represent for where you are, I think that makes a big difference. And it was really dope, like in the like early 2000s or so.
Hmm.
My brother had the opportunity. He was working with, shout out to Cap Productions. He was, going and doing a lot of events with Cap, but him and Premier was doing shows together.
Man, that is dope. That is dope, man. I love Premier. He even went to PV. My sister's a PV graduate. Shout out to the
Mhm.
HBCUs. I mean, it is crazy. It is
Yeah.
crazy. So, do you remember? Before we get there, let me just kind of like give you a backstory on how I discovered Ghetto Boys. Well, not
Okay.
discovered, like I'm Jay Prince or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
But I used to always
You talk a little
notice.
too fast. You talk a little too fast.
Yeah, I used to always notice this wall downtown. It was like right past Jensen, and it had ghetto spray painted on the wall.
Mm,
I used to always see that graffiti when we would be headed downtown from Fifth Ward, and all of a sudden one day I'm walking home from school. I was going to Mac Reynolds, and I was walking home from school, and I was on Lyons Avenue. That's Fifth Ward all day. I see the poster on the side of the wall, and they took the picture right in front of that ghetto graffiti. You know what I'm saying? And it said Ghetto Boys, and I was like, "Whoa, what is this?" Now I was already hip to hip hop.
mhm.
No pun intended. I was hip to hip hop. I knew about all the guys from the East Coast, like your Grandmaster Flashes and your Run DMCs and stuff like that. But when I saw that somebody was doing it in my own city, like I was like, whoa, like it's finna go down. Like we got, and they had the gangster hats on, so they kind of reminded me of Run DMC. So I
Mhm.
was like, man, we got our own Run DMC here in H Town called the Ghetto Boys. So then, fast forward, then the Grip It on the Other Level came out, and by that time I was all the way a fan because it had a different lineup. But it was
Mhm.
one thing I noticed. It was one thing I noticed that tall light skinned guy and that dwarf, they was in the first lineup and this lineup. So I was just like, damn, but who are these other two guys?
Mhm.
Come to, be Scarface and Willie D. So like
Mhm.
that was the lineup that I fell in love with,
Mhm.
from the jump. I love Johnny C, I love Jukebox, but I think when they got to Grip It on the Other Level, I think that's when the game changed. That's when the sound changed for Geto Boys, because a lot of people in my comments said that the Making Trouble sounded like Run DMC.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
and I
saying?
had to kind of, hold back a little bit because I was like, I will say I'm very protective of Johnny C and Jukebox. Number
Hmm.
one, let's talk about Keith Jukebox Rogers, okay?
Yeah, yeah. I heard
Um,
he incarcerated right now, right? Free
Unfortunately,
free jukebox.
please, like, let's, yeah. Jukebox, I feel like there shouldn't ever be a conversation talking about the Ghetto Boys without mentioning his name.
That's right.
I think that even though, number one, I think that the Ghetto Boys history itself is very different from anybody else. And I think that it's really something to be celebrated and
Hmm.
not forgotten, right? So, even though
Absolutely.
my brother Johnny C were not from the original set,
Hmm.
I think that everybody played their part. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for, Sir Rap-A-Lot and Jukebox and Raheem bugging James Prince
Hmm.
to help them put on this record, there would have never been a Rap-A-Lot.
Right.
Then, my brother coming down and being asked to be the DJ, and okay, now Sir Rap a Lot isn't going to be a part, and Raheem is about to do his album, so he brings his friend Johnny C down, and then from
Yes.
there you know they decide that they don't want to have anybody else write for them, or they don't want to sound a certain type of way, so then Will and Scarface come in, and of course, Bill is now going to rap and not
Yep.
just be the
The
hype man.
dancer. Yep.
And then, of course, even Big Mike, like everybody played a part in
Exactly.
this. And I think that all of it is important because even though, you see out there a lot of times to be like, oh, Johnny C and Jukebox got fired. They didn't get fired. They decided to leave. But
Right.
if you look on some of the albums, you'll see Jukebox might not have been in the front, but he was definitely in the back. He was doing a lot of production work.
Hmm.
We wouldn't
I
have
saw.
seen the Big Mike if it wasn't for Johnny C.
I think I even saw Johnny C get some production credit on one of the albums, if I'm not
He, he
mistaken.
he gets production credit on quite a few because he was
Yeah.
still working.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's dope, man. That's dope. Big love to them dudes. And I heard Raheem was from out there as well. Is Raheem
Mhm.
from?
And then
Okay.
that is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because for someone else to have been at the record label, been an artist, been a ghetto boy that's from our same hometown, and it's not like, what I'm saying, they're coming out there knowing this. So
Hmm.
that's just like, that's a God thing almost.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So do you remember '89 when we got this album? So let me. 'Cause that's why I love YouTube, because I used to do my lives on Instagram, but
Hmm.
they took away the features to put up the album covers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I just want to put it in boys' face real quick, man, so they can see what we talking about right here.
That
You
young
know what I'm saying?
Scarface.
This was, and it's crazy because this was even before the spelling of the name changed as
Right,
well.
right.
You
Yeah,
know what
because
I'm
that didn't
saying?
change until, Rick Rubin got involved.
Yes, yeah, with the
Yeah.
Deaf American, the Geffen remix album, right?
Hmm.
Man, so what was the vibes like when that Grip It came out? Because I mean, he was already making noise with Making Trouble, but then when this album come out, We got Gangsta of Love, Do It Like a Geo, a real visual for that song now.
Mhm.
So what was the vibes like out there when it comes to
So
that album? Was it underground to them?
it
To
was,
some
I
of the
think, if it was, it would have been underground because, like I
Yeah.
said, at that time, they still was not actually playing any of the Ghetto Boys stuff. Um, it wasn't, just very popular. Like, nobody really seemed to know too much
Mm-hmm.
about the Ghetto Boys. Like, you had to know Collins
Mm-hmm.
and, to like in my city to like really be kind of paying attention to it. And like I said, it was thankfully from that album was the first time that I did actually get to see them on TV. And I know that for him, it was definitely probably a weird feeling because when you come home, it's like, yeah, like, oh, and he's telling people what they're doing, and they see a little bit, but they're not seeing it like on a level what it would possibly, become for the other guys eventually. But they definitely was getting mad love everywhere else.
Man, that's what I'm talking
Sadly,
about.
I was kind of going through some stuff in my life, and I had, just started tripping and being young and wasn't going to school and stuff. And my brother, um, he started taking the time to, because he was always like a person that liked to record. Like he always loved to take pictures and all that. So when he brought like a video recorder, he would go around and he make tapes whenever they was on the road and stuff like that. So
Just
literally,
documenting everything.
yeah, when they were on tour, he was like getting everybody on this tape to tell me to go back to school. So it was like a really weird time in my life, and it was like I didn't see it until later on. And it was just crazy because now when I think of, I'm like, my brother like cared enough about me to ask other people to like, kind of lend their celebrity, if you will, to get
Right.
me motivated to go back to school. And I'll never forget that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man,
But
big up.
it would have been cool to have seen them in their element, because I missed that. And it was a little weird because, I don't we didn't have a conversation like, oh, this is what's going on with the group. My brother kept us very, very separated
Okay.
from business and industry and stuff. So it was just kind of weird when I did see the album. I'm like, wait a minute, are these different people?
Yeah, yeah. Didn't know it was gonna be how it turned out, huh? My
No. And
goodness.
then again, until recently, I had not heard any songs besides Do It Like a Geo from really off that album.
So how recent are we talking?
We're talking like in the last couple years. Like I listened to most, like I am still weird. Like this is how much I love my brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people laugh because like even like viciously was trying to get me to listen to this song. My brother told me there was this one song by that why I can't think of his name. It's called the Love Rap, and I probably have heard
Yeah.
way worse
Yeah.
in my lifetime. But he told me I couldn't listen to it when I was little, and I still have not heard that song, and I'm 48. Okay.
Wow.
So I had a really hard time after he passed.
Yeah.
People would be like, oh, did you listen? And I'll be like, oh, I'm going to listen. And then I would still feel bad if I start listening. So it wasn't until like really like last year, that's when I sat down and I listened to most of the music.
Okay. Okay. So did you enjoy the Grip It on the Other Level album? Did you enjoy it? Cause it was kind of raw. Like I heard from
It was kind of raw, but I think from knowing the guys, like to me, it's I don't take it serious. Like it was even funny, like when I first kind of heard or saw that they was like considering them to be like gangster rap. Because to
yeah.
me, my understanding always like, especially with knowing my brother and knowing Johnny, I'm like that wasn't their life. So they were storytelling. Like Assassins was all based off of like headlines and
Right.
imagination. And so it was like that's what I always kind of took it as, and I guess I still do. I mean, like when I talk to Will, he's such an intelligent guy. He's so political. He's whatever. It's just like it seems like most of his stuff was satire, you know.
Yeah.
And like especially when he talks about like, bald headed hoe, he thought he was
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
motivate people not to get the wigs, and he made it worse. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So yeah,
What you
but I
see,
thought
D?
it
What you
was
see,
dope.
D?
Yeah, I thought it was dope, like from a production standpoint, and like just being a lover of hip hop, like kind of it was so different, and like the whole setup for the like even with like do it for a G, like do it like a Geo, like that drum situation is crazy.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
That's one of my standout tracks on the album, along with like Seek and Destroy,
Hmm.
uh, Trigger Happy Nigga, stuff like
Yeah,
that. What was what
that was
was
kind of funny.
what was some of your standout tracks on the album?
So definitely Mr. Scarface, like that's my joint. I'm
Yes,
not gonna lie, like
good
I
storytelling joint.
I love every version of Mr. Scarface. Like Mr. Scarface is back. Whichever version you I love that one. Like I love that joint. So that one, and I do like um when they actually did redo Assassins on that album, I believe, or was it for no? I think they redid Assassins on the Geto Boys album.
Uh huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah. When I walked through Fifth Ward, I saw this man. He was blind, but he was blind. Such as jury and ran. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I
Legendary.
feel like, because this is the thing, and and this is why, like I was saying, I'm very protective of Johnny C and Jukebox because, of course, the only thing I can go off of with Jukebox is Car Freaks. That was their first album, and he was such a young guy. But
Right.
Johnny C, I remember from being a little girl and him being at the house and them rapping. And Johnny C's style, from what I can remember, was more like Raheem from Furious Five, or like the Force MCs. Like Johnny can sing and rap
Yes.
type, you know what I mean? So when they
Yes.
were talking about, oh, they was trying to be like Run DMC, like that wasn't even their style. I feel like they were doing it for a reason, which we know. If they had not did kind of what they were doing and the way they were doing it, they would have never got on the Fat Boys tour, and that
Yeah.
really opened the doors for them. But I'm like, those guys were so talented that they were able to switch their styles. And sadly, none of us really know what their sound would have been because none of us actually got to hear that last album that group put together
Right.
before the next set. And that's where Grip It on Another Level came from a song that they actually did off that album for the show.
Yeah. That album right there is just kind of. I think that's the staple of the Ghetto Boys sound. After that,
Hmm.
even like you said, even when Big Mike came on, he played his part so good. I mean, we missed Willie D, but Big Mike he fit right in. It was
Hmm.
just perfect.
Yeah.
And
I think all of them guys deserve their flowers. I would love for all of them to even just realize how important it is to, have, that strength in numbers. Like nobody has done what they've done. Nobody. You see it in other genres, but not in hip hop. You know what I mean? Like literally people that didn't know each other being able to come together and mash the way that they did and
right.
create that brotherhood. I know that, a lot of them are all still close, regardless of what people think. You know what I mean? But that's the part I would love for people to see and,
And then
and really get that full story.
and in the article I read, it said that Willie D and Reddy Red, even kept in touch, like often, even after him leaving the group and everything. So
Yeah.
just to know that was still a real friendship there, and they communicated often even afterwards. That make me feel good right
Yeah.
there. I know that it
For
was
whatever
real.
reason, and of course, my brother is gone. I don't know. I know that, originally there was like um a period of time where I guess they hadn't spoken according to Will with when he did his Vlad interview. But at
Right.
the end of the day, I know that the first time I spoke to Will, I was talking to my brother's friend. You know what
Yes.
I mean? I know
Yes.
that even to the point where the day that Bushwick passed away, that he actually passed away,
Yeah, yeah.
that I had a dream about my brother, and I like in the dream it was a lot of different things going on, but it was like so real. And when I woke up and I found out that Bill passed, my first thought was like he came back for his brother. The really funny thing about the that album cover is there's a picture of like my brother kind of down on the wall by Bill, and
Hmm.
like somebody had like kind of put like halos over their head. It's the craziest picture ever. It's like it when I saw it, I just broke down, and I know that Bill meant a whole lot to my brother, and I think vice versa because they had a really good friendship, and I think they all like have played their part, but I know that like um I couldn't have made it over the last 6 years without a lot of those guys, like even with Jukebox being incarcerated, like he calls and encourages me all the time.
That's
And
real.
I'm like, that's supposed to be the other way around. And he's like, no, no, gotta. And
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people, a lot of my brother's friends who have just kind of, Lee is one, like it's so many people that, and Steve,
Fournier.
who used to, not I don't know his last name, but they used to call him Stevie, I think. But his name is Esteban. But like he used to
Okay.
be always with the group and stuff like that.
Okay.
Shakim, like it's so many guys that they just love on me and check on me and the family. Of course, I'm the youngest, and my oldest sister Kim. We're the last two here, and Kim is the reason why he ended up in Houston in the first place. So but I'm super appreciative, you know.
Have you ever met Bill's son, Lil Bushwick?
I haven't met him. I definitely would love to, I would definitely
Okay.
love to meet his son.
Yeah, he's got a good energy, man, and he keep his pop's name alive.
Yeah, I
I see
follow
him.
him. Yeah,
You
I
do?
follow him. Yeah,
Okay,
because
cool.
my biggest thing was when he passed. That's what I just wanted to know how the kids were. At first I did have an opportunity to speak with Bill's publicist when he first passed, and
Okay.
that was my biggest concern was like, just his kids, and I couldn't imagine, how they were feeling because I knew how I felt. Like I said, I felt like I
Absolutely.
had lost my dad, when my brother passed.
Right, right. So one more time for these boys, I just want to put it in their face again. This is Miss Thursday. This is the baby sister of the late great DJ Ready Red of the Geto Boys. You know what I'm saying? That's why we chopping it up right now because we want to pay homage to the Geto Boys on the 35th anniversary. You know what I'm saying? So y'all go spin this album. Spin all the Geto Boys tracks. I mean, it'd be a good look. It'd be a real good look for y'all to do that.
Mhm.
But I saw that you. Oh, let me get this off the screen real quick.
Uh-huh.
I saw that you met. I saw that you met Ralph McDaniels the other day. Tell me about that, cause I met Uncle Ralph a few times when I was out in Jersey and in Brooklyn a couple of times. Man, good dude, good
Yeah,
dude.
he's
Tell me
awesome
about that
too.
experience.
Well, first off, I have to give a shout out to Van Silk. If y'all don't know who Van Silk is, you need to go get familiar. Like
Okay.
Van Silk is, I feel like Van Silk is like the real life Forrest Gump of hip hop. Honestly, that's how I look at him. Like in
How
the
so?
movie, how he was always in like these big moments. He
Okay.
really was. You know what I'm saying? Like Van Silk was one of the first promoters. Like big promoters in hip hop. Like he. Basically founded like the Foursome D's. Like he was their manager. He was like manager for like Dougie Fresh. Like he just like knows everybody.
Okay.
And when my brother passed of me and Van, he helped me put on a workshop years ago in our hometown with some of the first generation like hip hop artists and stuff. So when I saw that they were doing, because first off, I got a chance to meet Ralph because I was going to the Biggie Small celebration of life that they put on. in
Okay.
Atlanta.
Okay.
James Evans ATL was the group that put the party together, but CJ Wallace, his son, Little C's, DJ
Yes.
SNS, and Ralph McDaniels, they were all coming down for the party. And so for me, being a little kid growing up and loving hip hop, I just remember being, that teenager and setting my alarm because by the time Video Music Box would play in my area, it'd be like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
man,
I would
and
have
that's
to
crazy
take
because
a
we
nap.
didn't get it in H Town. We didn't
And
get it
they
at
said,
all.
"Oh, you missed it."
I
So,
know. I know. Like
it was it
I
was
still
nothing like
feel bad.
watching Video Music Box, yo. Like, of course, you love the videos, but it was the parties that was going on while
Damn.
when they would play in between the videos, and you seeing all these dope, like, black and brown people with the fly haircuts and
Yes.
you know, earrings and dookie rope and all that stuff. And then he walking around and you got some very strong New York accent female getting on there like I want to give a special shout out to my baby father and my
Yeah.
baby
My father, my baby father.
my baby father. And then a
And
special shout out to my homegirl. No.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. That's it. With
yeah.
all the spritz, with the spritz and the dough knockers.
Exactly,
Yep,
exactly.
yep.
So I was very excited. I love Ralph McDaniels. You could just tell he just has always had good energy, and he was such so many of those first generation artists and promoters and different people, and second, and all throughout. But I just always appreciated the love that he even showed my brother when my brother passed. And so
Right.
I just always knew, there's just certain people that you just hope that you get to meet in real life. And he was one for me. So I was overjoyed yesterday.
And the crazy part, the first time I met Uncle Ralph was in Newark. I
In
met
North.
him in I met him in Newark. As a matter of fact, it was at the Grambling Museum Center, right on side of the Prudential Center. Um, he had a sit down with Ernie Panicoli, which is the hip hop photographer, and
Mm-hmm.
Ernie was the one that told me that when Geto Boys went to, I don't know if it was the Apollo or Madison Square
I
Garden or
think
something
it
like
was
that.
medicine. You talking about getting booed?
They got booed, yeah, and then they went back to a sold out crowd.
Right.
So I heard that story from Ernie Panicoli, and he was talking to Uncle Ralph, and then I met Uncle Ralph again in Queens. I met him in New York City the next time, at the Queens, LaGuardia Community College, because they had the hip hop summit and everything. So when I saw your pictures, I was like, yeah, I know exactly how she feel. Even though I didn't grow up on Video Music Box, I know his influence, and I know how important he is to the culture. I just wish I would have grew up in New York or somewhere up there for
Well, I mean, I didn't
go
have
up
to
there for
grow
the
up
summer
in
or
New York.
something.
It
You know
was
what I'm
just
saying?
even being in Jersey, like even where we was at in Jersey, it was just, still, cool because like I feel like we had a great blend of being, not too far from Philly and not too far from New York,
Right.
and so we got to see like a little bit both, sides or whatever, real up close and personal. But, to me, it's just still like that theme song come on and like I get chills, you know what I'm saying? Ah!
Yeah, I ain't even from up there, and I know the theme song. You know what I'm saying? That was 5 minutes of funk by
Yeah. But
Houdini.
it's just
Yeah.
like I guess even the same for me, when you hear like, during the golden era of hip hop and when you hear some of those stories, it's like, to me it's just always just like like it's a feeling going through. I think no matter where you are, like, when you experience hip hop at its purest, when
Yes.
like it's just, and it's like for me, even some stuff wasn't necessarily my own personal experience. It was even watching, other people go through it, like with my brother or even my niece who was older than me. I couldn't go to parties, but she was a little older, so she's going to all the parties, and they would be making flyers, and it'd be like, party on Sunday, no school Monday type stuff, and be like,
Wow.
wait, what? you know. And every week she coming home with a new dance, like, oh, this the walk, oh, this the prep, oh, this
Oh,
the
this the
like
Cabbage
what?
Patch.
I mean, so I
Oh
just
my
feel like that was
goodness.
just a different, like it was such a good feeling, you know what I mean? And that's what I love, and that's what I love
Yes.
to remember and remind people about. It's like, hip hop wasn't always negative. It wasn't always this, like it still feels good. It still, brings us together. You know what I mean? So
Right. So,
yeah, that was really dope.
I'm not gonna hold you too much longer. I just got a couple more questions. So, how do you feel about the female MCs that's in the game right now? In particular, like the newer ones, the new young female MCs out there. How do you feel about this wave right now?
So, I actually just recently, actually last week on the podcast, I had an artist named Detroit Barbie, and
Okay.
she really kind of gave me a whole another way to kind of look at it. You know what I mean? And because I try to be open, I try to be understanding, but I don't feel like I have a lot of people from this generation around me enough to really know, what is it that they really like about the music now or whatever. I know that we have to stop condemning them. I know that we have to, like maybe realize that, this is for whatever reason their time or whatever, and that this is what how they choose to express themselves. I think that we have to stop talking about the few and think about the ones that are still trying to, you know, do the positive music and all that. Like, hip hop was always an underground thing.
Right.
And I think that now we're at a place where we don't go looking for anything. We want everything just brought to us.
That's
So if
right.
the industry just keeps throwing it down our throat, we just keep taking it. You got people like Rhapsody, you got Lady London, you got so many different artists. I found a really dope artist who, is Jersey, New York area. Her name Honey Stack. She's dope.
Oh,
Dope,
you got
dope,
to put
dope.
me on. Put me
Oh
on.
yeah,
Send me some
super
of her
dope.
stuff to my DM.
Okay.
I
But
got yeah.
we have to remember what that was like. Remember, video music box, I'm setting an alarm so I can watch it. We would sit and get calluses on our fingers trying to wait for our song to come on so we could hit that press, record button
Record.
on.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
takes, there was work that was involved to be a hip hop, you know what I mean, fan.
Absolutely.
Like you had to go stand in line to go buy the album or the cassette or the CD. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like there was work involved.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Ain't that work going on nowadays?
That work ain't going on no more.
It
No.
ain't. It ain't. And it's crazy because uh, I got a chance to meet E40 today and got an
Mm.
autograph. Uh, got an autograph on
I,
a
I was kind of
tequila bottle.
watching behind the scenes. I saw the out. I was like, "Dang, that's dope."
Yeah, I got the tequila. No, not tequila. Vodka. I got the vodka signed. The sparkling blueberry wine signed, and
Mm.
I took my In a Major Way album and my game related cassette. I got an autograph, all that. So he was like, "Yeah, I would autograph this, man, but you don't know nothing about this. You just bought this yesterday, man." And so I started spitting some of the lyrics, and he was like, "Oh, you day one. Let me go and sign this for you right quick, man." So, man, big up to these legends, man. And I
For
like
real.
the ones that still active. They
Mhm.
still
And,
out and
and
about and
and
they doing their
not to
thing.
cut you off, but even just talking about E40, we got Sugar T still active. This
Yes,
is
peace to Sugar
plenty,
T.
plenty, plenty for us to support. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
indeed.
And
Yeah,
let the young kids, the younger generation, have their music, and let our artists of our day remember that we're still fans.
that's
We
right.
still want to listen. Like if nothing else, we should have realized Killer Mike. Killer Mike album was so ridiculously dope,
Yes.
yo. But it was for us,
I've been
you
telling
know.
people the top two albums of last year came from a 50-year-old and a 48-year-old. The
Yeah.
top two hip hop albums. And
But
then I
we
got some
gotta get
people.
off that ageism stuff. Like,
Yes.
you hear it all the time. They talk about it on, every podcast, every whatever. But we really got to get off of that. This is the only genre that cares about that stuff. I feel like
Yes.
if it's in you, it's in you. Like just because you 60, unless you got like dementia or aphasia, like you not gonna remember how to rap. Like, come on.
Yeah, we still want to hear that beat. We still want to hear them bars. You know what I'm
I think
saying?
it was like 2015. I remember I got super emotional. I was at an old school, like rap concert here in Atlanta at the Tabernacle. And I had to text my brother and was like, "Yo, thank you for giving me a great appreciation of hip hop." I had just watched Curtis Blow
Ooh,
in his 60s, still, you know what I'm saying, doing a hand mill and all that stuff on, and I'm like, he was in his 60s, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm
man.
like, it has
Shout
nothing
out
to do
Curtis
with
Blow.
age. Yeah, for real.
Shout out Curtis. All the
Yeah,
legends, man. Shout out all the legends. And look, and definitely, and that's part of my slogan. Celebrating classic hip hop albums, legendary MCs, DJs, producers, etc., in a cashmere sweater. I feel like sometimes we forget. We so busy about the top 10 artists, the top 10 rappers, we forget about the DJs and the producers, which
yeah,
was the ones that started this whole thing. It was all about
exactly.
the DJs at first.
Exactly. And that was originally my goal when I was, before I kind of went in the direction that I did with bringing in the health aspect and stuff. I really wanted to make my podcast all about DJs, just
Okay.
because I'm a DJ little sister. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, but I thought it was, always funny because during one of the worst periods in New York, in the Bronx, hip hop was born. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? And a lot of times, we get, oh, why are we celebrating it on this day and all that other stuff? But, and for some, they feel like 77 was really the year that it really kicked off. And when we think about 77, that was the year of the blackout. Again, hip hop stepped in. It saved a lot of people's, you know what I mean? But
Yes.
then we fast forward and we come to COVID. Who kept everybody sane? It was DJs,
DJ D Nice. You
not
know
just
D
D
Nice.
Nice.
Not yeah,
When he
not just
got,
D Nice, but
you
he
know what I'm
definitely
saying? Yeah,
put
he
on for the
kicked it. He
quarantine.
really kicked it off. And then we had Timberland and
Jazzy
Twisty
Jeff.
with Versus and Jazzy Jeff and so many other DJs doing their thing. And I just feel
Yes.
like, um, DJs are so much more than just somebody to play a record at a party. There's so
Exactly.
much more than just somebody to, be behind you on tour. They really were the backbone and the thing that kept everything together. Nobody ever put out an album back then. If you were in a group or you was, with the DJ, like you had a DJ record.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Even the Geto Boys had a
You
DJ
had
record.
yeah. You had to shout out your DJ. Sometimes
You
they
had
would
to
name
shout
the
them out.
song after the DJ.
Exactly.
Yeah. So salute Jam Master Jay. Oh, and rest in peace, Jam Master Jay.
Yeah.
They finally convicted the
Thank God.
people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's yeah, man. We getting back to some peace in this thing. You know what I'm saying?
I truly hope so. Because,
Yeah, I'm looking
shout out
forward
to my
to it.
friend Manny Faces. I'm actually like, tonight's his night to kind of go on too. But,
Okay.
he has a really dope podcast called, Hip Hop Can Save America. And he's
Okay.
always talking about the different ways that we can bring hip hop into the educational space and mental health space, and so many different things. And, I think that, if we just get back to the essence, we could see just how much, it really can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, and shout out to all the nurses too, because I'm not gonna forget you said you a nurse.
That's
Uh,
right.
Sherilyn, right there, my creative director, the love of my life. You know, she's a nurse. You know, she's a travel nurse. So you know,
Ah,
she
God
be
bless, God bless, God bless, God bless, because that is not easy. That is not
yes,
for the faint of heart.
she a
So
little
thank
bit of
you for your
everywhere. Some
service.
one time she was in Oklahoma, and next thing you know she was in Sugar Land and Pasadena.
Mm,
She making it happen.
I
She
hear
making
you.
it happen.
Thank
So
you for
so before I let you get up out of here, like go ahead and plug your podcast or any of your social media, so we can let people know where to find Miss Thurzday, Miss Ada Jones, Miss Thurzday. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, again, thank you again for letting me come on and just,
It's
be
my
able to
pleasure.
chat
My
with you.
pleasure.
This has been awesome. Again, my name is Miss Thursday. You can find me on Instagram with the same spelling, Miss Thursday, and also the podcast is called Beats Per Minute Podcast. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I go live every Thursday to try to make it easy for people to remember that we're going to be on.
Yeah, you got
So
no
we go live.
excuse.
I mean,
They-
I try. But yeah, we go live every Thursday at 7 p.m.
right.
And try to have just different dope conversations. I'll be honest, I don't go after big names or anything like that. I like to really
Me and
have
you the same.
conversations with people that, don't get a lot of shine, people
Yes.
who, may have dealt with something medically. And I've been really excited about the conversations that I've had with different people. Again, I had the honor of having Willie D on last season, DJ Viciously, DJ Black, from Too Much Trouble.
Too much
I got
trouble. Yep.
yeah,
Shout
I
out to
got to talk
TMT,
with
man.
DJ Clientele. I had Sparky D on. So and then I even have had like a speech therapist come on, that was a friend of mine. And we talked about how hip hop actually can help with strokes. So I'm really wanting to get more in the space of just having those interesting type of conversations,
Yes.
just to kind of be more, even thought provoking, or just something a little bit different than the norm. I don't want to, do the same thing that everybody else is doing. I
Right.
want, people to kind of walk away with either having some more information. I'm also up for award, you know what I mean?
Get out of
Yeah,
here. Let's
I'm up for
go.
award, you know what I'm saying? So
So do I
shout
need to
out to
vote? Do I
you need to vote. You need to go vote. Okay,
send
so
me all the information? I'm gonna send it
I
to the
will.
lab text. You finna
I
win.
will. I will.
Yes.
So shout out to Street Sweeper of Yo ATL Raps. I think
Okay.
it's we need all of that back in our lives, right? And I think he's been doing it for 12 years. It's going to be like such a fun show. I don't even care about winning. Like, I'm just excited. Listen, it's going to be crazy. Okay, it's like my middle daughter, who's 27, talked about she gonna need some new knees. You know what I mean? Like, that's how crazy this show is
Man, we
by the
gotta we gotta make you win that one.
I
I'm,
mean, I would definitely appreciate it, but
yeah.
I'm just excited to be a part and to go, and and I'm excited, yo.
Absolutely. So again, y'all, I had Miss Thursday on here because it's the 35th anniversary of Geto Boys, Grip It on the Other Levels. She's the baby sister of the late great DJ Ready Red. We had a dope conversation, but I would like to even have other conversations in the future. You down to come back?
Absolutely. I'm always down. And number one,
I
thank you
appreciate it.
for looking, because I know that everything wasn't seen, but thank you for going and supporting the Universal Hip Hop Museum tour when they came to
Absolutely.
Houston. I
Yes.
wanted to make sure that the Ghetto Boys was represented in that space, and I think that there's still some other items you probably didn't see that I gave, and
Okay.
hopefully 2025 y'all be able to see even more.
Yes.
Because
Please.
I'm definitely going to the Bronx when it opens. So everybody need to go, and support. But so thank you for going to that. Thank you for celebrating all of the guys, because I kind of am just a champion for all of them. I feel like the Ghetto Boys deserve to be in conversations when it comes to hip
Yes.
hop, history, like, because they definitely, the South had something to say
Yes.
a little bit earlier than Andre said it. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying?
Man, this has been such a pleasure. Like I really really enjoyed this. I appreciate it, and this is just the tip of the iceberg of
Yeah,
conversations that we can have in the future. So this was a
absolutely. Yeah,
good way
I'm
to.
always down. And kudos to like you guys. the what are they? The lab techs?
The lab techs, yes.
Okay, just shout out to all of y'all. Make sure y'all keep supporting. This is not an easy thing, but it's a necessary thing. This is how we keep what's important in hip hop relevant, and keep those conversations about artists that definitely need to be discussed. This is
Yes.
how we do it. So thank you for all that you do, D, because it's definitely appreciated.
I really do appreciate that
Hmm.
because I swear sometimes I get in my feelings and I feel like don't
Yeah, we
nobody see
gotta
me.
we gotta just stick together, and do this thing, because at the end of the day, it's for who it needs to be for.
Yes,
You know what
yes.
I'm saying?
And Cher tells me all the time, she says, stop worrying about the few that you want to see you. Focus on the ones that tap in with you every
Exactly.
week, man. Like
Yeah.
like K Man 51, like Razor
Yeah.
Blade, like Rocker Bash, them all my G's right there, my
Hmm.
my my brothers on this social media thing, and I hope to meet all of them brothers in person. And
Hmm.
even you, I hope to meet you in person. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to come to the Bronx
I
and go
mean, no,
and go to the museum.
before that, you could always the show Yo MTV, not the Yo MTV, Yo ATL rap show.
Okay.
That award show is April 27th. If y'all want to come on down, come on down. You just it's going to be a pajama party, so you got to
In
wear
the
pajamas to
ATL,
the award in the ATL.
that's just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Exactly. So just come
Yes.
on down.
All right. All right. I'm gonna hold you. I'm gonna be
I
there.
mean, they gonna have everybody there. They gonna have what it is, cut clothes, and who else
Ooh,
did
they
they say?
went back.
I'm gonna send you a bunch. It's like
Okay. Okay.
everybody gonna be there. They gonna have DJ um the Southern Players. Like this lineup is crazy.
And I bet you New Face gonna be there.
You look, new faces everywhere.
New Face is everywhere, man.
New
New
faces
Face is
everywhere. He's so cool.
if he
I
ain't
love
there,
New
it
Face.
didn't happen.
I love New Face. He's so cool.
Absolutely, Miss Thursday. I'm not gonna hold you, man. I do appreciate it. I
Yeah.
can't even I can't even tell you enough how dope this was. Everybody was in the comments saying that this was a dope episode. Like it really gave me something to hold on to. Like this was a real good conversation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna chop this up, make some clips out of it,
Hey,
put it up
make
on
sure you tag
IG.
me in it all. You know what
I'm
I'm
gonna
saying?
tag you. We gonna even do a collaboration. It's gonna pop up on
Okay.
your page and
Thank
everything.
you. Yeah,
All right.
I enjoyed myself. I really truly did. And I just
Thank
want to
you.
send love to your beautiful wife. Like, I might have to have her on the show. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
and she's real good when it comes to like mental health and just
Oh,
health period.
thank you.
She's dope. She's dope.
They gonna be like, okay, are they working together now? Because that's how that's gonna be.
Let's go. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? That's what we here for. Let's make it happen. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna stay tapped in. You know what I'm saying? I'll make sure that this ain't no last time thing right here.
Mhm.
We gonna keep this going. We gonna link up again on another show and have
Yeah.
some more dope conversations. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. You enjoy the rest of your night. I sure appreciate you again. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Man, that was fire. Oh my God. Oh my God, man. Peace and blessings, Miss Thursday. Man, if anybody just tapping in right now, like I'm about to post this, you just go back and watch it, but what a dope conversation, man, I had with Miss Ada Jones, aka Miss Thursday, you know what I'm saying, the baby sister of the late great DJ Ready Red of the Geto Boys. Hey yo, it ain't much else I got to say, man. Thank y'all for tapping in. And look, always celebrate classic hip hop albums, legendary MCs, DJs, producers, etc., in a cashmere sweater. Keep celebrating that hip hop, y'all. We out of here. One.